Tin Hi-Fi is one of the company that I consider to be always evolving and always listening somehow to their complaints or some inputs from their customer. So hello and welcome to Aftersound Review, and this time I'm gonna review, for me, a kind of new generation of Tin Hi-Fi, and it's the Tin Hi-Fi T3 Plus. And yes, I know it's not a new product, but it's still, I consider to be somehow a newer generation of Tin Hi-Fi. And yes, I'm a little bit late, but it's better to be a bit late rather than never at all. So just like usual, I will break down this review from the build, fit, frequency response, sound, and comparison. The housing is fully made of resin. Somehow it has this kind of black and gray or black or white-ish swirl for the faceplate, but the body itself is totally black. And the nozzle is somehow using this metal material, and they are now using 2-pin connectors, because previously I hear some complaints, including me, my Tin T2 and T4's MM6 connector were broken. So it's a really nice change. For me, the ergonomics is just remarkable. I really liked how they fit like a glove with my ears. I feel no sharp edges anywhere, and also the cable itself, even though it's a little bit thin, but it's non-microphonic and very flexible. Well, tonal-wise, from frequency response perspective, I feel that they are somewhat looking kind of similar to the Harman-ish frequency response, which has emphasized mostly on two parts: the bass area, especially that sub-bass range, and also the upper mid-range around 2-3K area, and after that there's noticeable roll off and the treble area. Now the bass area is simply what I could say a really good bass. I mean, whatever the song you play at it, whether it's pop song, whether it's EDMs, you can always feel that the bass is punchy, and this punch is slamming deep. So you hear a lot of good quality bass here that doesn't go too fast nor too slow. For me, it's just a really well-rounded bass. And after that, I feel that also the mid-range. Mid-range is also kind of the star of the show of this IM beside the bass. So it's definitely two frequency that you will hear the most is mostly on the vocal, on the mid-range side, and after that the bass side. The mid-range is forward. It is very lush and soft in texture. So no matter what kind of song I play at them, I feel that, especially when I hear female vocals from K-pop or Asian pop, when I hear IU, when I hear Taeyeon, or even some Japanese music, I feel that all of those female vocals rendered really well. I can hear the emotion, and also I can hear the texture. It's really soft and somehow really addicting for me. So yeah, if you like vocal, if you like female vocal at this price point, I feel that it's one of the things that I would say that this is quite special. It's really addicting for me. It's soft, it's clear, but I do feel that male vocal somehow lacking a bit of thickness for it. But it's not a really bad male vocal. It's just lacking a little bit of thickness. I'm just being nitpicking here, but nevertheless, I feel that the mid-range is one of the stars of the show. And hearing guitar and piano also sounds really natural. Now, the treble is, here's the thing. I like treble. I like well-extended and sparking treble, and I don't really get that here. But I will say that this treble is just fine. I mean, the amount of sparkle, the amount of brilliance that you get from this IM is kind of soft. It's kind of softened trebles. It's smoothened, but it's not dark. So if you are okay with this kind of treble, it's just an okay-ish treble. It never goes too forward. It's just a little bit, for me, it's just a little bit too rolled off in the upper treble area. But other than that, I feel that the treble is just fine. But it's lacking if you like violin, if you like flutes that goes really high, if you like trumpets or saxophone. For me, it's somehow lacking some airiness to it. But nevertheless, it's still a really smooth and it's not harsh at all. So, in terms of tonal, I really like what I hear here. At least, I could say that this is one of the IM that I could recommend to anybody because it's a really well-rounded tonal presentation. It's fun, it's smooth, it doesn't have any sharp peaks, and it's really okay for hearing a lot of pop or EDMs for global music. Now, technical part, I believe that there are a lot of IMs at this price point that has good, really good technicals, even like this CELESTE GUMIHO or maybe this KZ AS16 Pro. The CELESTE GUMIHO has a resolution for me that is above its peers, while the KZ AS16 Pro somehow has layered and also the best imaging, I think, about this price point. Well, the tinted Relias actually doesn't have that. It's only have a good size of staging, but other than that, I feel that even though it's good at its price point in terms of details and resolution is just fine at this price point, but it doesn't go beyond. I mean, it's not as good as current leaders in the technical department like the CELESTE GUMIHO or the KZ S16 Pro for me. But yeah, the tinted 3 Plus for me somehow overing somehow the more balanced and more rounded tonal of the three. Okay, so yeah, the technical is mostly only the good thing about this tinted 3 Plus is only about the soundstage, but in terms of detail, imaging, and also resolution, I feel that yeah, it's just fine. It's not bad, but it's not the best either. Now let's go into the comparison. Now I'm going to compare them with this CELESTE GUMIHO. I feel that the CELESTE GUMIHO is more W-shaped-ish. I feel that more bass impact. I feel more vocal forwardness, and I feel more treble energy to the point that CELESTE GUMIHO is simply too fatiguing, at least for me. But for those who like a more impactful and more energetic presentation, yes, the CELESTE GUMIHO will be for them. And yeah, the resolution, it's just, for me, it's just definitely better than the tinted 3 Plus. But for me, again, the tinted 3 Plus offers more well-rounded sound and much smoother vocal and treble. So yeah, it just depends on the song that you're hearing, but I will definitely argue that the tinted 3 Plus is still the more all-rounder one, because I feel that the treble picks, especially the treble picks that's from the CELESTE GUMIHO around that 8K, it's just too fatiguing for a lot of people, while I believe that a lot of people will accept this kind of treble level for the tinted 3 Plus. Well, comparing them with the other IM that I consider to be good, like the KZ AS16 Pro, for me the KZ AS16 Pro is one of the legit multi-driver IM that I could feel multi-driver layering at this price point, and that stays for me. The KZS16 Pro has better layers, has better separation for the instruments, but with the caveats, for me the tuning is somehow a little bit weird around the vocal area because it has huge dip for the 5K, so some female vocal could sounds a little bit restrained in terms of energy. It lacks openness for female vocals, especially when I'm hearing some, some screaming vocals like Lisa, that songs a lot of Japanese anime soundtracks from the KZX Pro. I feel that her vocal isn't as open, isn't as powerful as I like them to be, but it has better layering for the song itself. But yeah, again, vocal is definitely more enjoyable and more natural. It doesn't have huge peak or dips that I feel from the tinted 3 Plus. It's just a well-rounded one. So, for me, oh yeah, comparing again with one of the best IM from Teen Hi-Fi. I feel that this is one of the good Teen Hi-Fi that I still own till this day. The Teen T2 Plus somehow sounds much thinner and more, it somehow has more treble energy that for some people, I feel that it's a little bit too much. It's a little bit too dry for some people, even though I should say that I still like this Tinted 2 Plus Depends on the song. I feel that when I'm hearing violins or some classical instrumentals, even though it's more drier, I feel that it has better clarity and resolution overall. But again, so for the final verdict for this IM, I could say simply that this Tin 3 Plus is kind of different from the other. I mean, the other, like the Aegis on Hot Mirror, the CELESTE GUMIHO, the AS16 Pro, like even the Tin 2 Plus itself, all has good resolution, all has good details. Some has more resolution, some has better layering for the song, but none of them have what I call to be a well-rounded and all-rounder kind of tonality. While this Tin T3 Plus, well, it's not as technical as the others. I think that this is the only choice that you could get around this price point that has really good, well-rounded, or it is simply the most all-rounder amongst that IMs that I've mentioned before. So I still consider it to be good, and I could definitely recommend them if you like vocal and bass. So for overall score, I will give this IM a final tonality score. This is my score for the technical, and overall this is my final score. Just like usual, I will say that my ranking could change and will be changed just in accordance to the advancement of technology, or simply change in my benchmark. I think that's all I could say about this review. I hope you enjoy my review, and if you're interested in looking at my rank, you can see in the description below, and if you have any question, please write down in the comment. See you next time. Bye bye.